The O2F Football Podcast. The voices of tomorrow, here today.
Hey guys, welcome back to the O2F Football Podcast. I'm Nathan, and today we are drafting a team only using players from the bottom half of the 2021 Premier League. As usual, I'm here with Ollie and Kieran. How are you guys?
You're right. Yeah, I'm out to get revenge this week. Came very bottom when we did the top half, so I'm ready.
I got to somewhat hold the crown of public responses. So I'm feeling a little bit of pressure here. So, in all honesty, even if you guys don't rate my team, I'm feeling confident still. So hopefully I can get another dub.
That is interesting, to be fair, the fact that we voted Nathan the highest, and then Nathan only was up until literally earlier on today, was bottom in the public ranking, because you just got a vote, I think, which made it come even with me, so 30, and then 40 for Kieran, but interesting.
In theory mine was good, but maybe on paper it didn't quite translate over to the masses. There's a lot of faith in my tactical ability to build this team. But this one I wasn't so sure on. This is a very difficult one. It's very different from before.
Mine's different. I'm not going to get yelled at for the formation, which I think the public quite liked, because for a long time I was winning. The public clearly liked that 4-3-3.
4-3-1-2 is not a 4-3-3.
And there's all sense.
There'll be no mistakes this time. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it.
So, similar to last week, if you listened in, we're going to do a fantasy draft team based on the form from the players in the Premier League this season. But, unlike last week where we did the whole team, obviously we picked the top sort of teams. We're doing the bottom half of the Premier League table. So, going to be very different, going to be interesting. You know, some dodgy clubs down there this season, so it'll be intriguing to see what we pick. So, without further ado, let's get into it. We'll do the dreaded draft. Who's going to go first? Because I think it's going to be a... Who is it? Who is it? No!
Oh.
Yes!
Oh,
Yes! Get in!
unbelievable.
To be fair, though, I don't have a pick for a while, obviously.
Without let's don't leave us hoping.
He's not going to do it. He's going to just try and be cool and not pick him here.
No, I'm going to pick Grealish.
And that's why he wasn't in my team.
We knew it was going to happen.
I've got him as a left winger, obviously, because that's where he plays technically. But I mean, he'll be everywhere.
You can't argue that pick. I mean, it's the pick. As soon as Aston Villa dropped into the bottom half, that was the pick. So, go on, Ollie. How was your response?
I'm torn about who I want my definite pick to be. It's between my left wing, my right wing, and my central midfielder. You know what? I'm going to go with my central midfielder just because I've got less players in this position, and I'm going to go with Ward-Prowse from Southampton. He's a quality player, free kick, mastermind. So he's on the right of my midfield three, sort of in the central midfield. So he's right centre mid, box to box, getting up and back. So yeah, confirmed him.
Right. For my two, I've gone for the kind of difficult positions, the positions that I've struggled with when we was putting this team together. So I'm going to start with the right wing because that was a tough one, and he doesn't necessarily regularly play there, but he's such a talented player. I'm going with Pedro Neto from Wolves as my right winger because he is, he's superb. I'm really impressed with him in what's not been a good season for Wolves. Obviously, Jimenez was a tough one. It was a bit controversial. He's not actually going to be in my team because of just a long time he spent out injured. And to follow up that, I gave Ollie a bit of grief for picking Shaw as his first pick last week as a fullback. But I'm going to pick a fullback, so I'm going to go to that right back and can't take Grealish, so I'm going to take Matty Cash as my right back from Aston Villa. I couldn't find any others. I mean, obviously you guys will have right backs.
Cross him out.
I really struggled with that position.
That's my two starting players, right wing and right back, gone. I was debating over picking Neto, to be fair, as my one there. Right, it's my.
Go on, Ollie.
All right, I'm going to go for my left wing, and I'm going to go for Wilfried Zaha. Not the best form, but he has been. He is
Zaha,
main man. There would be no Chris Palace in the Premier League without him. So Zaha's my left wing. It's kind of my right wing. I'm having my left wing.
Right. In my starting team, I have Ward-Prowse. Obviously, he's gone, so a Southampton option has come up, you could say. And this person wasn't initially in my original team because I thought there were two better players. And I wanted a certain one up front. But I'm going to go for Danny Ings up front as my striker for Southampton.
I can't argue.
I mean, once again, goal record speaks for itself.
There goes my striker as well. My team was just capitulating.
Right, my back's up against the wall here because Kieran just picked my striker, but I'm going to respond by picking my striker, my other option. Newcastle have been rubbish this season, and there's no point hiding that Callum Wilson has been a real shining light in that team. So he's going in mine. He has to be there. He can score a bunch of goals in a team that can't create chances. In this team, he'll be able to score quite a few.
There goes my other striker. I'm trying to figure out what my team is now because 3 of my players have gone. I'm trying to have to make it around because obviously we can have 2 from each.
Ollie's on the ropes
already. We've backed him up.
Okay, well, I'm going to. It's my vote, isn't it? Yeah. So I've got an attacking player. I've got midfield. I'm going to go defensively, and I'm going to just take the best centre back that we can probably have, and I'm going to go with Konsa from Aston Villa. He was in the team from the top half of the Premier League, so he's definitely got to be in the one for the bottom.
Yeah, I can't argue. He's in my one, sir.
Yeah, back that.
No complaints from me. Go on, Kieran.
He would have been my next pick as well. Oh God. Well, I suppose I've lost him as Villa, and I used Ings as the other one for Southampton. I would have the. Oh, I don't know where I'm going here. I really don't know what to do.
I've got a fat ass wasp right behind me, so I'm just opening my window.
All right, good. Gives me time.
It's absolutely massive.
Gives us time to stop.
It's
I cannot see that.
I can't see it.
It's by the light. Look about the wait. It's on the light. Just keep watching the light. Oh,
This is content.
I can't see it, but I know you're.
I saw
What's in
something
your
move.
house? That's a common thing. There was like 200.
We had an infestation when we first moved in.
Okay, you paid your pig. What's that?
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, God, be petrified, to be fair.
Look at him. Okay. Well, we've probably taken one of the best. Well, he's probably taken the best defender. We've got the best attackers, so I'm going to go for what I think is probably one of the best midfielders in the bottom half.
You're still doing it?
Uh,
And that's Bissouma.
Oh, you absolute bastard. I don't know how Ollie's going to react to that news, but
I don't know who's been picked.
I know.
Who did you pick?
He can probably play. He was Bissouma.
Oh, okay.
That was my own.
That's.
I've had to.
Yeah. I'm a player in the holding role. I think. I reckon he can do it.
I had him in my box. That was my box to box. He was really good last night. I think I can't say I watched the game, but
He was. Well, I think what my thinking is when he plays as like a pivot, he tends to be the more defensive one. If he plays like next to Lallana or Pascal Gross, so I reckon he could do a job.
yeah, 100%. Such a talented player. Ollie, after dealing with the Wasp, what's next? Who's your next pick?
Oh, is it my go? Is it?
Yeah.
When did you last go, Nathan?
I'm 12. We're on 10.
Oh, okay. All right. So wait. So, okay. Well, I'm gonna say my striker. I've been petrified of this Wasp right now. So if I say this player's already gone, do tell me. But I'm gonna go with Watkins up front.
Yeah, can't argue that.
Nah, you're all right. Yeah.
All right. Nice.
Everyone picked the striker early doors. Kieran.
I've just realised something.
What?
That obviously Aston Villa have so many of the good players that we want,
Yeah.
but out of the 4 that have been taken, or 3, 4, no one's said Martinez in goal.
No.
Oh, is that going to be your next pick?
So I'll put Emi Martinez in goal.
Fair. I think I know who my keeper is, but I'm taking him. I'm not picking him just yet. I'm going to pick a centre back now. And we said Konsa was the best out of the sort of options we had. I'm going to go for possibly the second best. I'm going to go with James Tarkowski from Burnley. I think probably their most impressive player in their whole Premier League time.
That's him
And
out.
we'll fit in nicely next to Paul. Do I pick his partner or do I pick someone else? Okay. See, I've been kind of hit for six with the midfield because I was meant to pick. I wanted Basuma and Ward-Prowse for my two box-to-box options. So I've been kind of left a little bit short.
Panicking.
But I think it's whether I know who I'm picking next, but whether I play him in the holding or the box-to-box, this might be subject to change. But in the holding role, I'm going to put Ruben Neves from Wolves in there.
I had him.
He's just
That's
such
him out.
a class player. Maybe not so brilliant this season as he was in the last season, but the form is temporary. Class fits into my team and makes things happen.
Who's going?
Me.
I've lost.
It is Kieran. Kieran on 14.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get in there quick and take a centre back because I need one badly, and all the good ones are being taken. I thought you were going to take my one, but I just think this guy. I kind of love him at Spurs. I'll be honest, even despite his age, and I'm pretty sure he was rumoured to possibly be going to Chelsea. I don't know how heavy that was. But I'm going to go for Lewis Dunk.
Oh, that's my other centre
I was
back.
literally
one of
just
my
taking last round.
That takes my two Brighton players as well. Didn't think they would go so early when we started this, but here we are.
My go.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take another Brighton player, and I'm going to get my attacking midfielder, and I'm going to get Trossard. I was looking.
Him out.
I was thinking, who could I put there? And I was going to put Grealish in that position, but then I put Trossard and put Grealish was there if I went first. So yeah, I'll take Trossard as my starting sort of cam.
Right, Kieran.
Oh God. I really need to have a think about this now.
This is a lot tougher than the original one because obviously we can
Yeah.
reel off some players from the bottom leagues. We get the
Really
pick
is.
of the bunch from the bottom half of the league, but now we're having to delve deep into, and we're doing it on form. I mean, there's the reason why these teams are here. Not many players been on form.
Myself in a certain position. Yeah, I'm stiffed in a certain area, but I'm not going to say where. We'll just come to that. So I'm going to go in and get my right back. My right back.
Yep.
And I'm going to... Maybe I do have a bit of a liking to this guy. He struggled at Spurs, but I think he's thrived at Southampton. So I'm going to go for Carl Walker-Peters.
He was someone I considered for my good purpose.
Yeah.
Go on,
I'll take
Ollie.
Huh, okay. I'm going to go with my left back because I need more defenders on the thing. And he's the only one that I thought has been standout. I haven't really seen him play loads, but I've gone off what people have said, and I've obviously gone off fantasy football. So if you've seen who the highest left back is there, definitely going to get his name wrong. Fulham. Is it Aina? Whatever his name is.
Aina.
Yeah, him. Left back.
Yeah.
He was the highest ranked on fantasy football. I have not watched much of him, but I'm going to go with what I've seen on Twitter and stuff like that. So
He's a good player.
played for Fulham. So
He's a good player.
he's my...
I think he's played more... I think he's played more as a wing back and centre back than a left back, but he can definitely play there.
Yeah, one of those that kind of play everywhere. It's not quite Aaron
Yeah,
Cress
for sure.
right back for sure. But I'm gonna go in, and I will now that my first choice kind of secondary centre back Lewis Dunk's been taken. Again, backs against the wall as so often in this draft. I'm gonna pick the captain from Newcastle. I think he's the captain anyway. I'm gonna pick Jamal Lascelles. He's not been necessarily the greatest player, but in a side that puts defence first, any sort of big defensive performance from Steve Bruce's side, it gets marshalled by that man. He's definitely a Premier League level centre back in a team with not many Premier League level players.
Yeah, it's a good pick. What are we at now?
We're at 19.
I think we're at you, yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, I've got a big break after this one here, so I might need to do this somewhat tactically. And I say tactically, not like me. I'm just going to do it. This came into my head very late on because this player, I think, is very talented. haven't seen much of it, but in recent games, in particular one of them that I think caused a lot of shock, he was mesmerising. So I'm going to go for, in the sort of attacking midfield role, Matthias Pereira.
Oh no! Oh, you've done it. Oh, that would hurt.
He was my backup option for my left wing, so I've got Zaha, so I don't need him, so it's all good.
All right, this to me, my midfield is taken perhaps one of the biggest hits. I'm going to have to scramble it a bit, but I won't scramble just yet. I'll be honest, left back was a position I really struggled with. I know Ollie's picked Ola Iron. I'm just going to secure someone, again, not perhaps his best season so far. He's had a pretty okay season in a team that struggled defensively. I'm going to go with Ryan Bertrand.
He was my backup. Well, actually, my backup was Target, but then I've used my Aston Villa player, so then it was Bertrand.
Just going to get him in there now because I don't know what's going on with my team. The team's struggling.
Okay, it's my go, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okie dokie. Where do I go? No one's got their two centre-back pairing, have they?
I do.
I don't.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna get my centre-back, my other centre-back in. I'm surprised no one said him, to be honest. He's had quite a good season. It's not obviously for a team that's been struggling fairly recently, but I'm going to put Bednarak. I think he's such a leader. Such a leader, you know, he's such a man, and he's such a good centre-back. I think he's a bit underrated. So him next to Concert, I think that's a pretty decent centre-back pairing.
Lack of experience.
Shut up.
All right. 22 pick. We're not can't speak. I'm obviously under a bit of pressure here.
Yeah, it's the midfield. It's the midfield.
For you.
I'm looking at my centre mid, my attacking midfield option. I've got no players there. It's a real struggle, but I do have a player in left wing. I think someone that's really impressed me. You know, and again, a team that may not do so much in this area, but Abrici Eze has really stood out this season for Crystal Palace as someone with so much skill. And I think next to with the quickness of Neto and Wilson, it will allow him to express himself a bit. So I'm gonna get him in there as my left wing. So
you got Eze. He was my backup out on the right because I didn't have another right person.
Right, Ollie, it's your go as I scramble to look for centre fielders.
Okay, I'm gonna get my sort of battling midfielder in here. Yeah, I'm just going to say it. I've got Westwood. His tackles, I think I've got such an attacking midfield, sort of Trossard and Ward-Prowse. I want a ball winner. So I'm going to put Westwood in for Burnley. So my first Burnley player, but I think he's a solid option there to win the ball, you know. So yeah, Westwood. My midfield's complete.
Shout.
It's an interesting shout, yeah. Yeah, go on. I'm on you.
Okay. Okay. This may cause. I don't really know. Okay, I'm going to leap into the next pick and see where I go. I'm going to get in my. I really don't know. Looking at who I've got and stuff. Okay, yeah, I've got someone. So in a team that has struggled at times and does look a bit frail at times, sometimes they're magnificent and they just pull off these kind of performances. One of them was against Everton, I think, away from home. They were just insane. So I'm going to go for one of their probably most important midfielders. I'm going to go for Fulham's Anguissa.
Yeah.
However you say it. I feel like
yeah,
as a midfielder, you know, I mean, to be honest, I reckon you could probably interchange him and Bissouma. However, if you need to, and you can always play it as a two holding midfielders if you need to, but I think they're both quite versatile and can do both roles quite well.
Yeah, I can't argue that one. That's a good pick. Go on, Ollie.
I'm really struggling to think I put up on my right wing. I've not got my other option. I was going to put on my right wing was Armstrong for Southampton, but I've got both my Southampton players now.
I had him.
Yeah, I've got both of my Southampton players done. I haven't got an out-and-out right wing on my thing, so it might have to be a left wing just put out on the right, because, I mean, that's not that unheard of.
I think Nathan's done that. Eze is more of a left-sided player, but it kind of works.
Yeah, Eze plays in kind of that Grealish type role for Palace, I think. Sort of that on the left, but attacking midfield.
Okay, yeah, I'm just going to have to do this. I think. Or do I back? Nah. Yeah, no, I'll do it. He's not had the most amazing season, but he is a player which, I feel like if we're based on form, to fair, he's not had the greatest of seasons, below par of what his performances should do. He was linked with multi-million pound move away. He was someone that, is an absolute Hulk. He's built like And I'm going to go with Traore for Wolves. He's amazing this day. He is things. So I think that's a good backup. So yeah, Kieran's fuming, but I'm getting my revenge in. My attack of Zaha, Watkins, and Traore. Come on.
Some faces. I can't get that on the team.
It is good.
Come on.
Go on, Kieran. You got to get back.
I said that was the player I was going to come back to was Traore, because my justification for it was he's still playing well and creating chances. Everyone goes on about he hasn't got any assists, hasn't got any goals. I mean, Jimenez not being there is a massive miss for him. Massive.
How good he is, though. Everyone's saying he's not playing well, but he's still doing quite well.
He's still a great player as well.
So yeah,
I'm gonna get in. So I'll. Oh God, this is really hard. Because once again, I don't have a pick for a while, so I kind of need to get someone in. I don't think this player's been said, and you can say that, it'll be slightly out of position, but I think we're past that now. We're all kind of doing it. And I feel like this player is probably too good to not have in your team. Has had some injuries, but at the end of the day, when he has played, he's been instrumental. And he was most recently at the weekend. So the only player position I've got left on the attacking side of things is on the right-hand side of it. So I'm just going to go for Alan St-Maximin from Newcastle.
Yeah, I can't argue with that shout. He was someone I wanted in my team. The Lascelles edition ruled him out, unfortunately, but I can't argue. That's a big, quick player, very quick. So I'm going to have to do a few position changes here. I just realised my next few picks because I need to fit players in. So the first position change, because I just want to secure this guy. Obviously, Eze was meant to play out on the left. I had him originally on the left. I'm going to now move him into the 10 role, into the attacking midfield role, because he can do a job there. He's that's where he came through at QPR. And I'm going to stick in someone from Burnley, a left wing end, maybe again, perhaps not the greatest player, not the greatest season. We're not all talking about him, but someone with so much potential. I've seen him play a few times now. I've just been so impressed with him. It's Dwight McNeil, that left side. Just an impressive player.
Yeah.
Direct.
Burnley's creative outlet, really.
Exactly, yes.
He's such an underrated player, and I feel like when you think of like young English talents, you don't really think he is English, isn't he? When I say that,
he's unfortunately behind like Sancho.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, he is so good. I saw him. What was the game that he scored in, and he just did? I can't think of who he played recently. It was recent.
I can't remember, but he scored a really good goal this week. He scored a really good goal.
Was it Everton?
Yes, when Burnley, and he had such a superb game. I remember match of the day, just like highlighting his play, and he got man of the match, I think, and he was just outstanding. So yeah, that's a good shout. It's not a bad sort of person to chuck in there.
Go on, Ollie.
Right, well, I've got goalkeeper and right back. Now I've got, I'm just going to get my goalkeeper in there because I've then got two people. I'm going to go with just checking that I don't have any more than two people. Yeah, okay. He was England's #1 goalkeeper in the international break. I'm going to go with Pope. Sturdy in goal, can't argue with that. I mean, you could have had numerous goalkeepers on it, but I feel like I had John Stones and Ramsdale and all of that, but they're conceding a lot of goals, so it's hard to put them in there. And Burnley aren't conceding massive amounts, so, it'll be a risk, I think, putting the other two. So Pope, proven. Pope's my goalie.
I think I'm going to secure my goalkeeper as well. I mean, you do say he's conceded a lot of goals, but he has made the most saves in the Premier League this season. I'm going to go with Sam Johnstone. I think the fact he's in front of a bad defence. He's having that sort of Jordan Pickford type season at Sunderland when, he was conceding a lot of goals, but he was standing out because his defence was just so bad. They constantly let him have opportunities. And again, I think a real solid keeper should possibly be on the plane in the Euros. We'll have to see. Kieran, your last two picks.
Double pick. So I've got to fill centre back and left back. Initially, I was going to go with an actual defensive partnership as my two centre backs. Nathan took one of them, nearly took the other one. And I thought Ollie was going to take this person when he said Bednarek because I heard the BE start. So my centre-back to partner up with Dunk is Ben Mee from Burnley. Once again, kind of same as Tarkowski.
He was on my list.
Like, even if Burnley kind of concede goals, when they dig in and get those kind of performances, 1-0 wins, you just know those two are going to be battling away and going to be kind of at the heart of it. And I believe, is Ben Mee the captain? Or
I think he might be.
been?
I think he is.
Yeah, so I mean, there's the leadership trait as well. And I think next to Dunk, they'll do the job. So moving away from my centre-back selection onto my final position now, which is left-back. Had a bit of a car crash here and realised it quite early on. So I thought I'll leave it till the end, and if it's the weakest position, it's the weakest position. But I still think I've got someone who's had a very good season. And this might throw up a bit of a debate because someone has already selected a left-back from this club. And it was Ollie choosing Ole Einar to play as his left-back for Fulham. And although he has played at left-back, he's played more as a centre-back. The person who's played more as a left-back / left wing-back is Anthony Robinson. Now, you'll probably remember him from, I believe it was him that got sent off for a bad challenge in that Chelsea game. But when he's not flying into reckless challenges, he's a very solid defensive wing-back and can go the other way as well. So that's what when Ollie said Ole Einar, I kind of thought twice about it, but I'll go with it because I had him down and I believe he's played more as a left-back than Ole Einar has, not taking anything away from his quality. I just think I'd rather have someone who's played there more often.
Oh, look at him. He's just trying to get a little bit of dirt rubbing in there.
That's me done.
Holding midfield was a tough one. It's the only position I've got left. Obviously, if I hadn't have gone through... Wait, have I not? Oh, this changes everything. I just realised I've done all my Villa.
Massive! Look at this! Gonna win! I swore again! It's another explicit one! Oh,
Well, this changes
I think
the
I
game.
saw earlier as well, don't worry.
Well, I'm gonna switch up, and I've been an unsure manager. A whole lot of position changes for me, and it's not going to stop here. Neves.
Best dressing room
Actually,
morale
no,
then if they don't know
actually,
where
no.
they're
This wasn't actually a position change. I originally planned to move Neves to the other central midfield role and put Sander Berge in holding because he's not played a lot of games, but he's obviously very clearly Sheffield United's best player. But I've switched up now because I've not got all my Villa players. I'm going to put in John McGinn as centre mid. He's just a good player, isn't he?
He was my backup after Ward Prowse, to be fair.
Big bum as well.
Aston Villa team is kind of cheeked up, but McGinn is one of. But McGinn is a class player.
He's a good player.
Yeah.
Better in a Scotland shirt than a Villa shirt, but all the same.
No, but he has proven to be good enough in a
I mean,
Villa
he's
shirt.
been linked to a couple. I think Man United tried to get him a season ago or something. I think
Yeah,
Man
them and
United.
Arsenal.
I think Man
And he
United.
scored that worldie in the Championship.
Yeah.
I mean,
That one goal,
that's-
him and Neves. I mean, Championship well.
Yeah, true.
I mean, that midfielder
Mane's,
is probably the best midfielder you could have picked, really, because he was my backup after Ward Prowse. So you going from Sanderberg to him is a massive upgrade. So
Yeah, I completely
Both
forgot
a
about
quality
him.
player, but he
Because all the other
he's
Villas, all the other Villa players, I just thought about them before.
Yeah.
McGinn,
I
I
saw.
McGinn was one of the first
just
names
think
down on my sheet, to be honest. I thought
Right.
if I lost Concert, I was going to pick McGinn.
So just out of interest, which Villa good player has missed out then?
Douglas Luiz, maybe.
Because I had 6 here down. Watkins, Grealish, Target, Concert, Martinez, Cash. There's 6.
Target.
Target. Oh, fair enough. Surprised by that.
You almost had Target.
I nearly picked him, but then I had Concert and Watkins, and so I thought.
Yeah. So I took Grealish and Martinez pretty early.
Is it my last one then? Is it the last?
Yeah, last go
Yeah,
first.
last one.
All right. Okay.
It's how you leave them. Come on, Ollie. Give us a big one.
Definitely my weakest. Sorry, but this is my weakest position in my whole
Great.
team. This is definitely my weakest one. I've not picked a Newcastle player in my entire team, and I'm keeping it that way.
Ooh.
So it was between two sort of players that they've not had an amazing season, they've not had a poor season, don't get me wrong. It's between either Semedo or it's between Furlong for West Brom. And neither have been standout, but none of them have been shocking. So I'm going to go with Semedo at Wolves.
Yes, that's fair. If you picked Arnold,
Yeah, he's better. He's better.
So I've gone with
All I'm
Semedo.
saying though,
Semedo at
is
Wolves.
I'm just getting Grealish if we play each other, Grealish is just attacking down that left. I'll get St. Maximan over as well just to exploit Semedo.
That's all right, mate. I think my rest of my team will just mug your team off anyway. So if you got one man, we'll just injure it.
Brilliant.
I like you. By the way, I was going to pick Pedro Neto, and then I saw on it that he's now out for the rest of the season as well. So I was like, guys.
Big miss for Wolves.
I'm talking about the past.
Mm.
You know, and that, I mean, yeah, Wolves going to Jimenez and Neto. That's their attack gone. Unfortunate. But let's summarise the teams. We've drafted that was an intense draft. It was a lot harder than the last
pretty
one.
intense.
It was.
Very, very rushed. Some of the position were definitely rushed on my team for sure. As you can tell, all the positions
There's
changed.
lots to say about them because they're in the bottom half for a reason. None of them. I mean, it's shocking to think Aston Villa are now there. I mean,
It was going to be either them, Leeds, or Arsenal, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we would have been taking players.
Aston Villa's has played less games, haven't they? So I mean, they've got.
Yeah,
I think they've caught up now with most teams.
but they've either caught up or they've got one more from when
They've
they
got
had
one
COVID
left.
and stuff. Yeah,
I'm gonna say I feel like they're on 29 or 30 on there. I can get it out now actually.
Yeah.
They're on 30. They have a game in hand, and if they win that, I'm not sure who it's against. But if they win that, I mean, they do go up to 9th place, so they jump up.
I think it's just now about how many good players you have from these bad teams. That's how I'm kind of rating it. Whereas I think I look at it and I think I would take you in a top half team. I'd take you in a top half team. I'd take you in a top half team. I think that's kind of how you have to work it out.
I am quietly confident with my team. I'm quietly confident.
Not as common as last time because you got shot down in flames last time.
I'm looking at this team and I'm thinking, yeah, okay, I would say maybe a bit of weakness in terms of on the right back, and you could say maybe the second weakest is the left back. But I mean, yeah, shall we go through the teams then?
Yeah, mine could have been worse.
Yeah, could have been a lot worse. Who do
go
you
on,
want?
Ollie.
I'll go first.
You start us off. Team, you're quietly confident.
You're bigging it up.
I'm not bigging it up. I said I'm quietly confident. I would say I'm very confident if I was bigging it up.
No, I know. I'm just funny, innit? Come on.
We'll start in goal. We've got Pope. I mean, he was England's #1 international break. I know Pickford's the England #1, but I mean, he's a solid goalkeeper, and I know a lot of people would rather Pope start than Pickford. It's a hot debate for the England position, so I mean, it's a good choice. I think
One will probably have on this team.
I mean, what with that with Dean Henderson next season maybe. So yeah, it's a big conversation. That anyway, to my defence, I got his name wrong earlier. I'm going to get it wrong again. Aina, Fulham.
Yeah, Aina.
Okay, Aina for Fulham and left back. Not a bad shout at all, I don't think. Just an average sort of one. He's had an okay season, which is shocking. I put a Fulham player in my defence, and I was like, I don't know, because they've not been necessarily the strongest at the back. But I mean, you know, I think he's a good shout. My defending pair, I think there's two strong defenders with Konsa and Bednarak. I think that's a very strong centre-back pair, and especially if you think about them in the bottom half of the table. And then I got Semedo for Wolves to my right back. You know, just adds that pace on the attack there. My midfield three, I'm very confident with. I got Westwood for the winning the ball. I got Trossard in my sort of cam, and I got Ward-Prowse for my set pieces. So just give me a foul, and I'll just ping a couple goals in there. With my attacking front three, which I think is really good, with Zaha, Watkins, and Traore.
Yeah, I
Can't argue with that.
Through.
I think we all know where his weak point is.
My defence?
Yeah, fullback.
It's that defence.
Yeah.
That's where I'll be going for.
I mean, Konsa and Bednarak are very good centre backs, so I'm hoping they can sort of even out.
Yeah,
I'd say the weakest part is the right back. I don't think left back's obviously weaker. It's a bottom half team, but I mean, I don't think it's a bad shout. I mean, I had Target as the only player on my left side that I would have put above him in terms of form this season. I had Bertrand and Van Aanholt as my two backups, two players that have been a bit average. So. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you picked Van Aanholt. I don't rate him at all, but
I thought about it and I thought, since he got injured, he just hasn't been the same.
Holding midfield.
Yeah.
So I had box-to-box midfielder Ward-Prowse, attacker midfielder Trossard, and my ball winner Westwood.
Yeah, Westwood, I'm not fully sold on, to be honest.
Yeah.
I
It could be a bit of a height issue.
I mean,
yeah.
my ball winner was Dallas from Leeds, and then I had to change it. And then, I mean, I had Bissouma, Milivojevic, and Moutinho, but none of them have had amazing seasons. You said Bissouma, obviously. Then I had...
wanted him in early.
I had Anguissa as my other one. I was going to put, if I couldn't, I'll just say my backups for my sort of attacking. I had Armstrong. I know he's plays more out wide, but I had him as a cam.
I had him down.
Yeah, I had Pascal Gross.
No.
I had Almiron for Newcastle, the only Newcastle player on my entire team.
I had him.
And I had Barkley. I was going to put him in a cam as a backup. If I
Barkley
needed.
not
been
is it interesting?
stinky
We've not had a good
recently.
season.
Yeah. No, but that's I mean, he was my 5th choice for my cam. So I mean,
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, that was like last resort kind of areas.
and obviously
Yeah.
I had Grealish there as well. But I mean, he wasn't in my team. He was just in my mind. So I thought if I had him, he was going in over Trossard. So
Yeah, it was first pick idea was Grealish.
yeah, exactly.
100%. Yeah, no, I like your team. There's a few. Obviously, there's going to be flaws in all these teams, but yeah, I like it. Should we move on to? I went last time. I will go second this time.
Got my pen out.
So I got quite a Brexit back 5, to be honest. To start things off, I've got Sam Johnston in goal. Again, most saves, kind of having his Jordan Pickford season, like at Sunderland, as I've mentioned. Just a good player, just a good goalkeeper. Was at Man United for a long time. Proved himself now why he was there originally. Now right back, Matty Cash, again, probably out of all the options, I think the best right back. That's why I wanted to get him so early. Can do everything that you want a modern fullback to do. Again, Bertrand at left back, someone that has been in the Premier League for a long time, a lot of experience. You know, kept himself playing. They played Champions League final, if I'm right in saying,
yeah.
against Bayern. Yeah, so it's a lot of big game experience. And to round off kind of the British core, I've got James Tarkowski and Jamal Lascelles. I mean, they're two big
It
hard
is a
lads
big
who can
Brexit
head the
back
ball.
5.
Head the ball, they can kick it, and they can
Hit you.
be a problem against Ollie's team. You know, maybe a few fouls being given away, but we'll get
And
into
we
the
love
culture.
that. We love that because I got Ward-Prowse to score goals.
Yeah, I think against any team.
That's all weird.
We're getting a bit more cultured in the midfield. Ruben Neves holding, just a class player. Again, maybe not had the best season, but form is temporary, class is permanent, and Neves can deliver on the big stage.
Yeah, you get some quotes on this podcast as well.
Let's go. I'm back in my team. I need to sell it. John McGuinness in the mid. Someone that I didn't realise I could pick until about 5 minutes ago. Top player. Yeah, not much to say about him, but box to box can kind of do everything technically very sound. And then Eze in the 10, quality player, kind of very flair. A lot can go through him when he's on it. He's one of the most, probably the best player at Crystal Palace in my opinion when he's on it. But yeah, he's someone that's going to be a star for them. Dwight McNeil on the left, very direct, will get at those spaces that Semedo leaves behind. He'll get very direct, can run at his man, can shoot, and can do everything you want a winger to do. Neto is probably the best player in this front three. He's on the right for me. Just a lot of quality. Obviously, going to be a big miss for Wolves now. He's out for the rest of the season. And up front, Callum Wilson can score for Newcastle, so he'll probably score in any team.
But someone that was going through their whole podcast moaning, saying, "Oh no, my players have gone left, right, and centre." It's a very strong team.
It's a good team. It's a good team.
So
I wasn't sure. It wasn't my first choices. That's the only thing. I feel like reading it back, I'm all right with it. It's all right.
I would say it's a weird one. You've got, I think your team looks fairly consistent because all of your players match the level. You haven't got anyone like Grealish to make players around them sort of look worse, if you know what I mean. Like when you put in a star player, it kind of makes certain positions drop down. But no, I
Are
think
you trying to sabotage my team here
no. Why? No. I'm just saying.
by saying that Grealish is going to bring down all of my other players?
I'm just saying Grealish is a league apart of anyone in the bottom half, so it's going to make them look worse.
I know what you mean. Just convenient. I have him, and I'm about to go next.
Oh, and who else has it got? Who else going to slag off here?
Things get heated. Flame emoji.
I like the team, to be fair. I think your weakest points, I would say, are Eze and McNeil, even though both of them were on my backup. That's what I personally... I think Eze,
If they're the weak points, then my God.
Yeah.
No, I
wanted Pereira, to be honest.
I
in
think...
the attacking midfield. Eze was going to play on the left as I originally drafted him.
I
But
just think Eze is plays more out wide in the Premier League. He plays more...
He plays
I
the
think he could
Grealish
play
role.
there, to be fair.
He does do. He came through at
I'm not
QPR
saying
on
he can't play in the cam. I'm just saying I think he would be better positioned sort of out wide. So I just think if you put him out there, I think he would do better. But I'm not saying it's bad at all. I think McGinn, great last minute one. I can't believe it was your last minute and you hadn't thought of him. Yeah, your defence, like you said, is very Brexit. I'm not the biggest. I think they're two average centre backs. I don't know. The centre back pairing for me is just looking a bit dodgy. I
think Tarkowski's really good. Tarkowski there I rate highly. Lascelles, I'd let you have that.
Lascelles is probably but he's still a good centre back.
Kozowski's better, but Lascelles, I don't know. I just feel like you're going to give away some goals there with that sort of centre back pairing. But yeah, no, it's a great team. I mean, you picked Wilson. He was my backup after Danny Ings. You picked Neto, who I wanted. So Neto's your biggest selling point to me. He is a quality youngster. And yeah, I'm fuming. United turned him down when he was a youngster. So another big miss from another big club.
Yeah, you can read a piece on him once he football about Pedro.
Yeah, exactly. Plug it. Check us out.
Go on, Kieran.
Let's move on to the winning team then, shall we?
Well, back to Mark.
So, haha. So, in all of your explanations, I heard a lot of he wasn't my first choice. This player was, and then I quite soon realised that a lot of your first choices are in my team. Isn't that convenient?
First choice players. Did everyone get you there? I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had 6 out of my 11 of first choice.
5.
6. I had 6.
Look at
I
him.
took all your first choices still.
The other ones I had are probably in Kieran's team.
Yeah. Right, so I'll start.
Our first choice players, and we have 6 more first choice players than you, Kieran.
We don't. You have 1 more.
That's more.
There we go. We'll go on,
Right. So we'll start in goal, and let's be honest. From the bottom half of the table, I have the best keeper. Emi Martinez in goal. I'm pretty sure in the clean sheet department, only Edison is higher than him, and that's in a Man City team that have defended impeccably well this season. So that says a lot, really. Some of the saves he's made are ridiculous. So he's in goal. Kyle Walker-Peters at right back. Not the most flashy right back there is. I would have preferred to have Matty Cash, but you can only have 2 Villa players, of course. But Southampton really rated him, and he was a big miss for them when he was out. I think it was, Ward-Prowse was having to play there, and the youngster, can't remember his name, but he was having to play there as well. And they struggled at times, but he's back there and he's just solid. Can go really well both ways, and I trust him. Centre-back pairing, Lewis Dunk and Ben Mee. Similar to Nathan's centre-back partnership, a bit Brexit, but those are the kind of centre-backs I think you get in the lower half of the table. Lewis Dunk for Brighton has been immense this season. I think his performance against Liverpool, the win over Spurs as well, you can see how much it kind of means to them, those wins, because he knows they've had to really dug in to get them, and I think he'd be brilliant back there with Ben Mee, part of that partnership with Tarkowski that's been terrorising strikers for years. Maybe less so this season, but at the end of the day, still the weakest point of the team, and Anthony Robinson from Fulham. But similar to Kyle Walker-Peters, I feel like he can go both ways when he needs to defend, in particular in that Everton game, and I think against Liverpool as well in the 1-1 draw, he was very strong and can handle himself very well. Certainly would be someone I'd take as a sort of backup option at a top club, and I think he'd do well in this role. Move on again to another player who was someone's first choice, in Yves Bissouma in the holding midfield role. I mean, he's wanted by some top clubs. I mean, that says a lot about him in a Brighton team that's pretty bang average. It shows that when they're not scoring goals, at times they're also not conceding them. I think he's a large part of that. Maybe as a sole holding midfielder, he would struggle at times. But I think he's more than capable of doing that job himself, marshalling the back line really well. Moving up a bit, I did want... I think I wanted Ward-Prowse here, but... things happen.
Everyone wanted him.
Things happen, yeah. You get other players. So, as my other Fulham player, I've gone for Anguissa. Again, just a solid midfielder. Can do a job going both ways. Incredible stamina on him. And he's popped up at times with some important moments for Fulham this season. Probably goes kind of under the radar just because of how poor, I guess, collectively as a team they are. When you look at some of these individual players, you think they'd thrive in teams that can hold leads and win games, and I think he's definitely one of those. Another player now who was, I'm guessing, someone's first choice, and if not first choice, definitely second choice, in Matthias Pereira. Absolutely tore up the Championship. Struggled at times this season, I won't lie, but in the last 2 games, Chelsea and Southampton, quite literally when we're recording this yesterday, he showed his quality to signify that he is a Premier League player. Just someone who's got so much about him in terms of the flair department. You look at that goal he scored against Chelsea, the lob, the runs in behind are going to be very crucial, I think, as well, especially when you've got Alan St-Maximin and Grealish, two players that maybe don't like to run in behind as much. They like to pick up the ball and drive, it seems. I think that could be quite scary at times. You've got Grealish running it, he takes it past two. He realises he needs to pass. Who does he pass to? St-Maximin. You know, I think that'll be a problem for any team's defence, let alone when you've got Nelson Semedo playing there. But moving on, lastly, but certainly not least, probably some other people's first choice as well. Danny Ings, goal scorer. What more can I say? I mean, the man is a machine when it comes to in front of goal. Yes, he's lost some pace over the last few years, but I think he makes up for that in the fact that I think he's improved his finishing drastically. And at points, he's carried the Southampton team on his back. He's struggled with a couple of injuries, which I think has kind of coincided with their kind of downfall that's gone under the radar. But at the end of the day, in a good team, this man will score you goals. That's my team.
I can't argue with that front three, but that three is very good.
Yeah.
I cannot argue with that. I'm sure Ollie's probably got more critiques.
That's right. I welcome the criticism.
Well, I've looked at all three of the teams as we've done this, and I don't know how we've done it, but we've all pulled out the bag three very strong bottom half teams. Like
very solid.
Definitely closer than the last one we did. They're all very.
Yeah,
I don't understand how these. But there's 33 players we picked, and all of these are in the bottom half of the table, and it's insane. It's insane how these 33. So it just shows
Some
you.
good players in the Premier League, believe it or not.
So strong. It's hard because you can't look at these teams and turn around and say, oh, you know what, they're not the best, but they're not the best. I mean, they're in the bottom half, but it's a very strong team. I'll give you that. Grealish, obviously, you went first. It's a solid pick.
It's inevitable.
Danny Ings was over Watkins for me because I then obviously had it so that I could have had other Aston Villa players. But when Grealish went, I thought Watkins is going to go in. Alan St-Maximin, he's a strong player. Me's good. Me's okay. Good. Dunk's very good centre back. He was my next to Consta. I think he's probably the second best, if not probably better overall currently than Consta in terms of a strong sort of centre back. So you've probably got one of the best, or if not the best centre back in there. But yeah, I mean, I'd say similar with me, and you can disagree with this. So it's similar with me. I think your fullbacks are your weakest element, just like me. And I think we all agreed fullbacks was so hard. After you lost Target, and obviously no one picked him, and Cash, sort of Aston Villa really, and you take them out, it's hard to pick them. So
as soon as Cash goes,
So yeah, I mean, I think they're all very strong teams. I think this is going to be very close. So should we all just calculate who we think is the best one? Because I'm doing my mathematics again.
Yeah, I haven't done ratings as such, but I think I've got a good idea of what team I think is better.
I really don't know. It's really because as you say, everyone's picked quite consistent teams at a good level. I would say for Kieran, you did say his weakest point was his left back. I agree. Right, Robinson's all right. And then maybe the midfield as well. Maybe that's on me really for not taking in Anguissa's performances because he's not playing for a very good team. And obviously Pereira. To be fair with Pereira, that was my first choice. Well, I think that's a great pick because I mean to be creative in a Sam Allardyce side in modern times at least takes a bit. So, but fair. Do you want me to go first? Because I've not got any rating system. I'll pick who I think's got the best team.
I've changed my rating system around. I'm not doing individual. I'm going to do the whole entire defence out of 10. And then it's just going to be quicker to do.
Okay, that probably works better. Yeah. I'm going to go. Just because it's a really tough one. But because I can't decide. As a really humble man, I'm going to pick me in last. I'm last for this one. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just because I'm not so confident in what I picked. But I do feel like. You guys may have slightly better. I think what Ollie said about star power. I think star power makes your team slightly better than mine, to be honest. Because that front three of Kieran's is unreal, and probably is the reason why I'm going to put Ollie in second. Because I just think his front three is so, and also like a few of his picks in midfield. I like his defense, his centre backs. Can't speak. I don't like his centre back.
Blown away by my team. Lost for words.
Martinez is the best keeper. I mean, the third best goalkeeper in the Premier League. So I mean that's a great pick. So Ollie second, Kieran third. Even though it's Kieran first, sorry. Even though it's a very close tie.
Yeah, fair enough. Ollie, do you want to go or should I?
You can go. I'm just finishing my calculation.
Okay. So I'm going to be the opposite of humble because I do think I've picked the best team. Right?
He's done that, so he wins. Look at it.
What Nathan said about star power, I back that up fully. in terms of deciding between your teams, to be honest, I'd say they're genuinely are close to mine. Like, I did have a think about it when I heard the names you were drafting. I thought, Jesus Christ, I could be in trouble here, especially with the left back situation. But I think I've masked that with some other positions. I think overall, I'm gonna have to agree with what you said, Nathan, and put Ollie in second and your team in third. It's very, very close. But I just feel like there's some players in there who just slightly edge it. I think James Ward-Prowse is a big pull.
Yeah.
And who have you got as a holding midfielder? Is it Westwood?
I got Westwood, Trossard,
Nevers and Westwood. It is close. It really is. I think a lot of the positions, if you look at them, are on par with each other. I think if I had to pick between Watkins
I don't
and Wilson,
think Nevers and Westwood is one of them.
No, I think in terms of Watkins and Wilson, again, it's probably really close. I think right now I'd probably take Watkins. Just,
no, I probably would.
It's so tough to tell. It's come down to some individual battles because other than that, they're just on par with each other.
Mine's close, as you said. I'm putting Nathan last. I think it's a solid team. It's a very, very good team. But yeah, your defence is the part that lets it down for me. Like I said, I think you got Cash in there, which is obviously the best right back. But then I'd say it's pretty. I mean, all of them are pretty average in sort of the defensive areas. But I mean, it's probably the worst of defence. I really do like I think your Neves and McGinn for me is probably overall the best two. Yeah, probably the best two sort of those holding sort of playing midfield. But it is last. I think you've got the weakest attack, which is you've got Neto. I want to get Wilson, but I think they just miss out. 34 and 36 in the overall ratings for the two. I'm not going to be humble as well. I'm putting myself first. Just what I'm doing. It'll be interesting to see now because it's so close what the public actually think on social media. But I just think you're talking about an attack. Zaha, Watkins, and Traore up front. It's got pace. It's got clinical finishing. It's a good attack. You got Ward-Prowse and Trossard and Westwood. I think it's a great midfield with the centre back pairings of Konsa and Bednarak and Pope in goal. I think it's a very solid team. I think it's fair to say you could argue mine or Kieran's all day. I think they're two very strong teams, and Grealish is a massive pulling power in that. But I think I just back my team, and I don't think anyone can get that angry with that. I think they're two very strong teams.
No.
Your attack is very good. Danny Ings and Grealish, obviously they're amazing, but obviously based on form, obviously Ings has been out a bit. I'd pick Watkins. Grealish obviously better than any of the players in anyone's team. But I back my centre back pairing more so. I think our fullbacks are equally as bad. And I think on more star names, my midfield wins in my opinion. But I think my midfield's better with Trossard. I think Trossard and Ward-Prowse.
See, I think I take it. That's where I think I take it as the midfield because of Bissouma. I really do. I think that if you were to rank the six players we have in the midfield,
Pereira and Guisa, you pick over Trossard, Ward-Prowse, and Westwood.
Yeah.
Did you hear what I said? I said if you were to rank each individual six players, Bissouma is far and away at the top for me. Then it would go Ward-Prowse. Then you're looking at it's close between I'd probably put Westwood kind of near the bottom, to be honest. He's not all that. If I was doing it, I agree. But I say currently Ward-Prowse is better than I would say better than better than Bissouma. Nope.
So yeah,
not a chance. Ward-Prowse has fallen off recently a bit.
Opinions, but I think
he missed a penalty last night. You're wrong.
I like we said, it's down to opinion, but it's all very close. I am surprised about how we've picked three very good teams here. So
some good teams.
Once again, it'll be interesting to see what these public say. But I'm feeling
Nathan's winning the poll. Of course he is, because his team have been
voting for a humble
done the
leader.
most, whereas last time it was kind of mine.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So as always, the poll will be on Twitter. Probably. Are we saying Friday or would it be on the weekend?
We'll need to specify if you do it a bit later, because maybe the positions will have changed a bit if we do it like the weekend like we did last time, I think.
Yeah. I'll do it on the weekend. It'll be Saturday or Sunday. I like to give it a bit of a time so people actually want to watch the podcast. They don't just have to.
Just as long as we specify recorded on 13th of April.
But yeah,
Sunday.
If you're listening, and you've got this far, thank you. The Wasp attack really threw me.
Oh yeah, excuses.
And no excuse at all. I've got the best team. Back me, and that's what you need in a manager to back him. So there you go. But yeah,
Nathan's team's getting relegated with his confidence.
if you're listening, go and vote for my team. We all know it's the best one. So yeah.
And if you want to vote for it, it will be at O2Football on Twitter. So make sure you follow that and all our other social media platforms at O2Football or at O2Football UK. Check out our website at O2Football.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.